Well, the Warriors lose the opener 62-37 against one of the best teams in the country, Slippery Rock. And yeah, the Rock put it on them. They came out early and never looked back. Joe Abramson along with Rod Beard. And Rod, that was an impressive effort by Slippery Rock. Coach Winters talked about the deficiencies on his side, especially on his defense. Hey, those guys are good.
Yeah, absolutely. And we'll take a look at a lot of these highlights that are mostly going to be Slippery Rock here.
Let's take a look. And yeah, it's mostly Slippery Rock. There are some Warrior highlights as well. But yeah, Slippery Rock got it going early. How about this one to Sweeting?
I mean, and this is the show. I mean, this is Roland Rivers and Sweeting. It's Roland Rivers and everybody else. Whoever he wanted to find, he could do it. That's Sweeting, Sinkyu. And turnover right here, and this turned the game because this is really what started to fuel that offensive explosion that we saw.
Brad Zaffron with that interception, and that sets up this run by Snorway, gets it into the end zone. You mentioned one of the 2 touchdowns that Rivers didn't account for. He did help account for this one to Sinkyu Sweeting as he took it, juked a couple of guys, well, actually let it down to set up the other run by Snorway, or actually Rivers, excuse me, as we get these things a little mixed up. Sinkyu Sweeting did have another touchdown. That was pretty sweet, though.
No,
and it's right here.
And that was the story of the game. Is just here's the one he bounces this to the outside and just gets to the offense. Wayne State didn't have answers for, and that's what Paul Winters said as well. Is that there just wasn't that defensive intensity to get the stops they needed.
There's Litwin. 7 catches, 122 yards, 2 touchdowns. Sweeting, by the way, 5 for 86. Reese Roberson.
Yeah,
nice game. 3 for 98. Made a couple of sweet catches. James Hill doing James Hill things. 22 carries, 138 yards, 2 touchdowns.
And I mean, that's the way this game went. 49-14 at halftime, where Wayne State really had a group, and Slippery Rock didn't need to do very much in that second half to try to win this game. They had already put enough points on the board in the first half that they were far enough ahead, and this was just it was academic at that point.
Yeah, and you've got a guy like Rivers, and he just keeps making plays. But, you know, James Hill, he had those 3 touchdowns for the Warriors. That got things going in the second half. You had a good game from Amrine. Not great, 5 for 15, 112. There's Litwin. We talked about him with his 122 yards and 2 touchdowns. And there's Rivers rolling out, buying time.
Rainbow!
And then we thought this was the last we'd see of him. First possession of the second half. Hit Jermaine Wynn. 8 catches, 152 yards. He had 2 touchdowns as well. That one went for 78. They did pull him, but then the Warriors came back, got on the board again.
Going again. And it was just wash, rinse, repeat, same thing all over. And we got to mention the numbers for Roland Rivers. 23 for 30, 405 yards, 6 touchdowns, and then 9 carries, 62 yards, and another touchdown.
Let's not forget Leon Eggleston, by the way, with that safety, one of the better players for the Warriors. Dante McClure with his first touchdown as a Warrior, doing that Deontay Nicholas kind of role of that slot back guy going through, you know, doing that sort of stuff. He's going to be a good player, I think, through the rest of this season and through the rest of his career.
Right, and I think, and that's the takeaway that I think you get from this game is that there were some other offensive pieces that you saw. Nick Potterack being one of those, the 49-yard touchdown pass.
And Nick Potterack, 3 catches, 72 yards. He's a nice player.
Yeah, and so you'll see some more of those guys throughout the season, but it's just a case of it wasn't enough in the first half to really make this where you could say this was a competitive game.
You know, the Warriors, the first downs kind of evened out after a while, but that's going to happen. It's going to game the way it was played.
Lopsided, yeah.
25-22. At the end of the day, it's the score. Passing yards, 407. The Warriors end up with 319, but so much of that is the 207 from Dakota Cup. When you're down, when you're in that kind of panic mode, so to speak. Turnovers were not that big a deal. The Warriors fumbled it twice, didn't lose them. Just that one turnover, that interception, that was on a deflection. That's just a really good football team they played.
Yeah, and there's no way around that. It's a good team. Even if you had played a good first half, you would have had a tougher time in the second half either way. But lots of things to work on for the game next week against Truman State.
Well, the Warriors take it on the chin. They're going to try to come back. They're going to regroup. Coach Winters, I've got a feeling it's Jake Amrine, but he wouldn't commit one way or the other, and he said, hey, it's a fair question. He allowed Tony to ask it, and hey, I think there's going to be some changes probably made on that defense, and we'll see what happens with the offense, and maybe you get some of those injured guys back, and that'll help you as well.
Yeah, on offense and defense. I think we'll see a different team next week.
All right, thanks, Rod. For Tony Ortiz, for Rod Beard, for our director, Mike Johnson, and for our entire hardworking crew from CN900, I'm Joe Abramson reminding you the final score once again, Slippery Rock 62, your Wayne State Warriors 37. We'll see you next time right here on CN900.